So this is a good starting point, I will say. And it all starts with syntax. Programming means syntax, any programming language for that matter. Just like that, SAS programming also comes with its own grammar. Syntax is very important because when you're going to write the program, if you're not really sure about the syntax, you're going to get all those errors and you will not get the output that you expect. So in case of SAS, it is going to be consisting of something called as data step and proc. Proc is like all procedures. So data step will basically help you to create your own tables, or it will allow you to manipulate your data, read data, and so on. On the other hand, your procedure steps, they are going to help you to do things like reporting. They are going to help you to do things like analysis based on your data. And it's going to help you to organize your data, manage your data, and so on. Right? So there are data step and proc step when it comes to your SAS program. Now, those of you who have attended our SAS programming courses, probably for them it will be more like a recap because you have learned it. But many of you said that you have not really familiar. For them, it is a good overview, I will say. Some of you are experienced programmers. Obviously, probably you're doing this day in and day out in your in your work. So for you all also, this is just a good recap. And then what all topics you already know, what all topics you probably want to focus on more, right? So that's why I'm just running through this review. So understanding SAS syntax, that's important. We have to focus on that first of all. There are different types of programs, programming statements that you can write when it comes to SAS syntax. Something called as global statements. So basically, generally when you want to do settings or something for that will run throughout the program, then you have got something called as global statements. Say for example, you're creating a report and you want to put some title for that report or heading for that report. Then there are global statements like title example, which is one of the SAS global statements. There is a syntax, that means whatever code that you are going to write, it ends with a semicolon, right? So that is how you logically end a particular statement. Spacing, all that is okay. Lowercase, uppercase, mixed case, don't bother much unless they are quoted value. So let's say if you are saying that I want to see the records from let's say a continent equal to Asia, example, then in that particular case, obviously that Asia will be a quoted value. And for that, you will have to decide whether it's going to be Asia in uppercase or lowercase or whatever it is, right? So certain care that you have to take over here. Make your program readable. Even when you're writing exam code in your exam, just ensure that it looks like readable to yourself, because sometimes what happens, we just type and then we don't really understand where we started, what are we writing, right? So it's always a good idea that you indent nicely and make it like readable program. You have got format code option, right click format code is also there. So just format your code and ensure that you yourself understand what you have written. Even during exam, take care of that. Comments and all that in real life, of course, when you are doing kind of documentation for your program, you will have comments so that you as well as your team members know what that particular program is supposed to be doing, what this particular statement is supposed to be doing. And then of course, understanding SAS syntax, that's where you will have to start off first of all. And then let's talk about data, because obviously if we do not have data, what are we even going to do, isn't it? So it all starts with data. So SAS has got its own data set or own table. So just like how you got, like for example, Excel, or we have got different types of databases. So they all have their tables and so on. Just like that, SAS has got its own data set. Now in case of SAS data set, you have got of course data, and then there is something called as metadata, or called as a descriptor portion, right? So we have to understand the structure of our tables or SAS data sets very, very carefully. Now, let me tell you, during exam, so of course, these are all the topics that you will learn. You will have to use it also back in your office or whenever you start working. Of course, you'll have to use it. But even for your exam, these are some of the concepts, and understanding these concepts is very, very important, because some of these concepts will be tested. So even if it is an MCQ question, for example, we should know that, oh, in case of SAS table, there is a data portion and then there is a descriptor portion, which is like a metadata portion. So we have to quickly be able to relate it. And there are some questions, even MCQ, those questions will ask you that, okay, this is the code, predict the output. Now, how will I know whether the output is right or wrong? Only when I know my syntaxes very well, only when I know that this is how internally how SAS behaves or how it functions, right? So that's why some of these basics are like, we have to be very, very clear, especially when you're going to take your exam. By the way, in case of SAS, you got either character data or numeric data. Of course, column names and all, they will have their own syntax, and they have to have a particular number of characters and so on. Character or numeric data. So even dates, when I talk about the dates, please notice dates are internally numbers. So yes, I'm going to format them and make them look like these are the dates, but internally please notice dates are numbers when it comes to SAS, right? So character columns means we know letters, alphanumeric, numbers, special characters, that's all character can be. Numeric column can be date. Date is internally a number, like we said. Dates are numbers are also your 0 to 9, positive, negative numbers, exponential or scientific numbers, decimal points. So that's like quite relatable for anyone and everyone to understand. And then I was telling you that in case of SAS, there are variety of procedures that you can run. Now this is a procedure called as proc contents. Proc contents procedure is going to reveal the metadata or the structure of your SAS table, and it's going to tell you whether a particular column is a character column, numeric column, how much is the length of that column, and so on. Right? So some of the procedures that you will have to write. So this is how your sample code is going to look like. So if I'm very new to SAS table, I don't know, I'm newly joined, example, a company, and they want me to understand my employee data, then I will run these kind of procedures, right? So proc contents is one of the procedure there. All the best to all of you. Thank you.